Dad's Divorce Live. I'm Matt Allen, editor of dadsdivorce.com. Our guest is renowned celebrity divorce attorney Laura Wasser, who has represented some of entertainment's biggest names, including Kim Kardashian, Stevie Wonder, and Ryan Reynolds. She is also the author of the new book about divorce in the 21st century, It Doesn't Have to Be That Way: How to Divorce Without Destroying Your Family or Bankrupting Yourself. So Laura, thank you very much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Now, in your book, you acknowledge this generation's realities about divorce have evolved greatly from the previous generations. So how does this generation perceive the concept of divorce? What's different?
I think one of the things that's different, Matt, is that our generation doesn't perceive divorce quite as such a taboo. Most of us have either been through a divorce because our parents were through it, or our best friend's parents, or our parents' best friends. It's not quite as jarring from a societal standpoint, although it is still very jarring for the individuals who are going through it in the family. And what I'm trying to convey as a message to the parties that are actually going through a divorce is that because of the tools we have available to us in the 21st century, therapeutically speaking, educationally speaking, in terms of the internet and those kinds of things, there are much better ways of going about it than some of the nightmare, disastrous divorces that we've heard about, as I said, our parents' generation going through.
So obviously our audience is predominantly male. So would you talk about how and why men handle divorce differently than women?
Yes, I think that another difference in this generation is the fact that you have dual income earning families. There are a lot more women who are in the workplace, and there are a lot more men who are either not the primary breadwinner or not the breadwinner at all. So one thing that you see as very different is you have a lot more fathers who are a lot more hands-on with children. And unlike in our parents' generation, where mom would get the kids, get the house, dad would see the kids every other weekend and one night a week for dinner, I have many clients who say, well, why wouldn't I have equal custody, if not primary custody of my children, since that's what we did when we were together?
Right.
And so the fathers' rights movement is huge, particularly here in Southern California, and as you know throughout the nation. But I think that the way that men and women approach divorce today is different. And overall, I also feel that generally speaking, if you have one parent who is the breadwinner, whether it's the father or the mother, that parent is going to be a little bit more likely to treat the divorce transaction as a business transaction because they are in the workplace. And because you now have more dual income earning families, I feel that people are able to approach divorces as a business transaction instead of as this terribly emotional, anxiety, acrimonious situation. And they should.
Now, you have a rich background handling high-profile celebrity divorces. That actually is something that runs in your family, since your father, Dennis, is also a powerhouse celebrity divorce attorney whose clients have included Tom Cruise and Larry King. To what do you attribute society's and even your own family's fascination with celebrity breakups?
Well, I think societally speaking, Matt, it is always interesting. What fascinates me more than the celebrities is how interested everybody is in celebrities, whether it's their marriages, their pregnancies, or their breakups. I can't believe what an industry that's become. In California, any divorce action is public. So anything that gets filed in Los Angeles Superior Court, where most of our celebrities will file their dissolution cases, is immediately public. So it will immediately be picked up by TMZ, Associated Press. And people love to see the train wreck. I mean, they love to read about whoever it is that they've been so interested in for all these years and the demise of whatever relationship they're in, unfortunately. In terms of our family or our firm, because of where we practice, when you are kind of at the top of your game, you're representing people that are at the top of their game in whatever industry dominates where the venue that you live. And so because it's here, we do represent a lot of people that are in the entertainment industry, whether that means movie stars or big directors or big producers. That seems to be those who gravitate towards us. Just as if you lived in Manhattan, you might represent investment bankers of the highest degree, or if you lived up in Silicon Valley, you'd represent folks that are involved in tech stuff.
And finally, what are you hoping readers will get out of your book?
I'm hoping that readers will get the message, which is the only real thing I want to convey, that it doesn't have to be that way, that unlike what has happened in the past, that these divorces or dissolutions or separations, if you're not married but you have a family, can go down in a way where you don't have to emotionally or financially bankrupt yourself or your kids. And I've had so many clients and friends over the past 20 years say to me, God, if I only knew then what I know now, I wouldn't have put my family through that. I wouldn't have spent all that money. And I want people to look at what they have in their family situation as a pie, if you will. And when you get divorced and you start slicing up the pie and giving pieces of it to family law attorneys and forensic accountants and actuaries and all of these other experts that get involved in the process, you have less pie for you and your kids at the end of the day. And although the person that you're divorcing might be the most hateful person you can imagine at this moment in time, generally they are someone with whom you shared something. You probably share children with them. If you can get to a place where you look at that person as, and the other side of this process is still going to be your family, but just in a different way, I think that you can get through what is never going to be a fun experience, but it's going to be an experience that you go through and come out the other side of it with this person who will always be in your life and will always be in your family in just a different way. You'll have more funds available for yourselves and your kids, and you probably will have better rounded children who will grow up into better rounded adults for having gone through the experience, miserable as it may be, in a way that treats it more like a business transaction and kind of with respect and a love. And if you can't get to love, maybe just kindness for your partner who is about to be your ex-spouse, but will always be a co-parent and who will always in some ways be a partner.
Well, Laura, thank you again for joining us. I really appreciate it, and best of luck with your book.
Thank you so much.
That was celebrity divorce attorney Laura Wasser, author of It Doesn't Have to Be That Way, How to Divorce Without Destroying Your Family or Bankrupting Yourself. I'm Matt Allen, editor of dadsdivorce.com, and thanks for watching Dad's Divorce Live.